Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Off the Bench. I have a great guest for you guys planned out today. A good friend of mine, Joaquin, aka XcessiveGames. He's going to be joining us to talk about the new proposals and rule changes coming to baseball. We've got a lot to talk about, and he's got a lot to say as a Cleveland Indians fan. Stay tuned, play the intro music. This is Off the Bench. Then you work harder. Wake up, it's time to get ready. Go out, it's time to get ready. Wake up, it's time to get ready. Time to get ready, time to get ready. Whoa. Wake up, it's time to get ready. Go out, it's time to get ready. Wake up, it's time to get ready. Time to get ready, time to get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, joining off the bench is my good friend from Cleveland, Ohio, Joaquin of Excessive Games. So, Joaquin, we discussed this earlier, but had some technical difficulties.
Basically, this is our second time doing this. Okay?
It's the second time doing this, but we apologize for the technical difficulties that you did not experience because we're starting from scratch. So, MLB playoff proposal. What are your thoughts on the expansion to 7 teams?
My thoughts are that I think it's pretty stupid. Because it's you're taking what's already a long postseason. It's about like a month and a half, maybe I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
Give or take.
And you're expanding it to now 7 teams, and with no like I just don't think that what's the real reason for doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no it's you're just expanding it just so you can watch a wild card game, like 3 wild card games for one team. Like why? Like you're.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't see the reason. What I really thought is that the first thing that popped into my mind is that Rob Manfred is really trying his hardest to get Mike Trout into the playoffs. Because if the Angels can't sign anyone to help Mike Trout win 90 games and get a wild card or win a division against the A's, then they have to expand it. And a lot of New Yorkers here, I've heard from New York sports radio, are loving it because it adds that whole reality TV aspect of, oh, who should the Yankees pick because now they can't play the Twins every wild card or divisional series and make it to the ALCS. Now they have to go through the Red Sox or maybe the Rays. And then there's
you say maybe like they're going to pick another team that's not the worst team on the list.
Yeah.
Like obviously you're going to pick a team that has the most losing records, so that way you have a better chance of winning. Like you're always trying to improve your chances of going as far as you can.
Yeah.
So like if like you're the Yankees and you have a choice between the Twins, who have like an 85 and I can't do math. 85 and
they have 85 wins, whatever.
70 something like record versus somebody who has like over 100 losses. Who are you gonna pick?
Yeah,
the one with the 100 losses, because you have a better chance of winning.
Yeah, and there's also the aspect of like, oh, if this proposal had been in place last year, the Mets would have made the playoffs. It's like, yeah, sure, the Mets would have made the playoffs, but would they have won a World Series? Like, would they have had the talent to make a run? Like, looking at that team that would have qualified, quote unquote, as I use air quotes, versus the team that made the World Series against the Royals in 2015, I think it was. Like, those are two distinctly very different teams, and one was really more prepared for a playoff run versus this one that's still rebuilding.
Yeah, and you never know like who's going to win it all, because like this past season, like take a look at this past season. The Washington Nationals came from the wild card, went through the wild card, went through the National League, went through the championship, and then finally went through the World Series to take it all. That's like one of the greatest underdog stories I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And like obviously, I was excited because I was like, oh, it's either gonna be the Nationals winning, so Yan Gomes gets a ring, or it's going to be Houston winning, and it's Michael Brantley getting a ring.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, because they were both
Because
past Indians players. So like, and like, and the Washington Nationals winning it all was just a complete surprise to me. Like I'm sitting there and I'm watching, I'm watching the updates on my phone, and I was like, "Oh my god, the Nationals won!" Like I was excited, like if it was my team that had won, just
yeah,
because they came from
the
like
Cleveland
the wild
system,
card.
right?
They just took it off, which is like fantastic. Also, out of the tidbit, I'll just send you the picture. But the last strikeout for the Nationals to win was Michael Brantley. So there's a picture that they took. It's Michael Brantley putting his bat down because he knew he just got because he knew he was just struck out. And then since Yan Gomes was the catcher, it was Yan Gomes cheering. And like it is, that's like the only one that would get that picture is a Cleveland Indians fan, just because like I said they were both past Indians,
Right.
and like that picture is just like it's like crazy to see because
It's just two
like
two former
I had
Indians
nothing
from
to
the
do
same
with
system.
like Indians had nothing to
Yeah.
do with it, but the fact that they were both just Indians players last season, like I was like, wow, that's like some like poetic shit. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, and the really thing that pisses me off about this playoff proposal is that the whole picking your opponent, because there's always the argument that it's going to be the reality TV aspect. They're going to pick, the one. There's always going to be the story of who's going to pick. Are they going to pick their bitter rivals? Or are they going to pick some random team they've never played before? But at the same time, like you said, you're going to go for the team that's not going to give you a hard time in the playoffs. And if you have to pick the top wildcard team at the end of it, and it's the top wildcard team is the Red Sox, and it's like, all right, well, this team got to pick, but I'm stuck with the Red Sox. Like, it's it brings on a lot of like unneeded like difficulties and pressure. And sure, like for a journalist, it could make a lot of sense and be great if both New York teams make it to the playoffs. But at some point, some teams honestly just are meant to be in the playoffs, and other teams are just need to fix their shit.
Yeah, and like I honestly don't see what the benefit of this is because so like you're going to extend postseason for about I mean it's you're only going to extend postseason for about like a week or so,
Hmm.
but like who's this benefiting?
Right.
Like you said, like so like how many times is it going to be the Yankees picking a wild card person,
Right.
and like it's going to be the same, at least for the next couple of years. It's going to be the same people. So like who is it really benefiting?
Yeah,
Like
and that's why I keep going back to the Mike Trout thing. This is really just to try to get the Angels into the playoffs while Mike Trout is still young and is still in the middle of his like 11-year contract, and he's still playing at a high level, and it's just to get that man like more playoff time. But at the same time, like, you can't blame the Angels organization for not being able to bring in the right players. And you can't blame Mike Trout for signing for a huge deal to stay with the Angels. Like, sometimes your team just isn't good, and that's and that's just the murky reality of it. Like, there's so many there's so many great players in all of sports that have not won the championship. I mean, Lionel Messi of soccer, right? He's
yeah.
never won a World Cup. Does that take away from his value as one of the greatest soccer players to ever like run the field? Like, no. But Mike Trout, he's a tremendous talent, but just to try to push him into this play, and that's what I really think it's all about. Just try to get Mike Trout into the playoffs, because that's when a lot of people, like the entire nation, is watching baseball. That's when like the ratings are through the roof. And okay, this is Mike Trout. This is the face of MLB, and we're gonna make sure he competes for a World Series, or at least tries to. And I think it's
Okay,
gonna blow up in their
that's
face
but that's just like one person out of
out
what
of so
like
many
I would say
teams.
thousands of
Yeah.
baseball players right now. Like Like, why are they going to do something just for one? Like, yeah, okay, he's probably recognized as the best baseball player in MLB right now, and he has been for, let's say, the past like 4 or 5 years. But like, I don't like like how are they just going to do this for one person?
I don't know.
Like, like it
That's
makes
my
no sense.
thought process of it, because really, like, not a lot of people. I don't think, and this is my personal opinion. I don't think a lot of people know about Mike Trout. And it's that, like, more people know about Aaron Judge, but that's because one, he's a Yankee, and two, it's very rare for the Yankees to miss the playoffs. And if they're missing the playoffs, you know something is going down.
Ooh, my name's Jorge.
I,
I'm with the Yankees. Yankees are always in the
but
playoffs.
I
Boo
mean,
hoo.
look, it's just the facts. And Rob Manfred right now, you would think that after the whole Astros scandal and the way he handled that, he would come up with a better proposal than this. And Manfred really is. It looks like he's just grasping at straws at this point to try to make baseball more popular than it is right now.
But like you don't like. I think doing it at postseason is like the dumbest way to do it. Then just because like I said in our earlier podcast, um, when like I'm gonna say it the exact same way. You and I have been our friends 365 days of the year, constant.
Yeah,
Like we talk almost on a daily basis, just like joking around, whatever. And it's just that like the week that Indians and Yankees are like facing each other, like we're just cussing each other out. Like you're a
yeah,
motherfucker, no, you're a motherfucker, no, you go die. Like we're at each other's throats because I mean it's friendly competition,
yeah,
but like I don't care about any other teams if I'm in the postseason. Like you don't care about any other teams if you're in the postseason. I mean like if I lose, I'll like keep an eye on the Yankees to see how they're doing,
yeah.
and I'm sure like if you were to lose, you'd keep eye on the Indians and see what they're doing. But like I'm not gonna care about the Pirates or the Angels when I'm trying to like look at the postseason for my team. Like no, fuck that. Do it like at the All Star week where it's like every team coming together just for one game. Like then I'll be like, oh, where does this guy come from? The Pirates? Oh, let me see what the
Yeah.
Pirates are doing right now, or like let me see what the Angels are doing right now. Like
Yeah, no, I
why the
agree.
postseason? Do
And,
something in All Star week.
and we discussed before we discovered technical difficulties. We discussed that the TV deals for MLB is done after 2021, so they're gonna be vying. They're gonna be hoping that ESPN and Fox are gonna just fight each other and give MLB a shit ton of money just to play their games. And I believe that Fox is gonna be like, dude, here's as however the fuck much you want, we're gonna give it to you because all we have is sports and news at this point that Disney didn't buy. So we're just gonna keep that shit running. But with ESPN, it's like, all right, and even Turner with TNT and TBS, it's like, all right, like, what are we gonna do? And I think the key here isn't about just expanding the playoffs. It's we got to market the right players. So if you're negotiating these deals, try to get Mike Trout a shit ton of national TV games. Get him as much as you give him the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers. Give the Angels all that time. If you want to expose the Pirates young players, give the Pirates that time. Don't make it where it's like, all right, we're gonna have half the season where it's like the most name recognizable teams, and then all the other up and coming stars in different divisions. We're not gonna show them.
Yeah,
Like,
like if they change it to the postseason, all right. So then the Angels will make it to one of the many wild card games there are. All right,
yeah,
then they lose two rounds in a row and then like lose the wild card division. Then what's the point? Then like now we just wasted like 2 games and now we get back into the regular postseason. Like all
yeah.
right, now we could go through the American League or whatever. Now we can go through the championship. Now we go to the World Series. This is just adding an extra step that does not need to be there.
And the current wild card format that we have, where it's like the two wild card teams playing a one game playoff, that's
Yeah, that's it.
I think
That's all you need.
that's the perfect thing for baseball. You have two teams that couldn't win their divisions, but won enough games to qualify, and they get their best aces out there, and they just show what you got. And if you the better team will win. And the thing about it is that whoever you advance, now you have to be strategic. Now you have to be like a good manager. Now you have to get the right game plan going because you just use your ace. You have to make sure that you win enough games in the divisional series to be competitive or advance. Because now it's like, all right, we used our ace in the wild card. How are we going to set up our pitching rotation for the divisional series if we win the wild card? And I like that part of baseball where it's you have to start thinking, you have to start strategizing. How are we going to set the lineups based on what happened in the wild card series? How are we going to compete against a team that's definitely going to use their ace in game one while we're using our second or third pitcher in our game one?
All right, so then,
Yeah, and you're adding
so
and the other teams that aren't going to play on wild card weekend have like 10 days off because you're doing a 3 game series in the wild card. So you these guys are going to be on extra rest.
okay, so then you have that. So then why are they just trying to like do this for exposure? If it makes sense in the technical term, why didn't they just say, oh, this is for this, not for like exposure to
I'm
like
not.
more teams, to give more teams a chance to go to like the World Series. Like obviously this wild card is, yeah, you're okay, but you're not like that good enough. So we're gonna see how far you can go. If you didn't make it to the wild card, then your team sucks. You don't
Yeah.
deserve to try to go into like the World Series. So like obviously, like everybody knows the World Series is like the the greatest game of the season. Like everyone tries their best. Like that's the end goal for the year.
Right.
Like like if you suck, you suck. Like you're not gonna go. So like you try again next year. There's no like, oh, we'll tease it for you. Like here,
Yeah.
you qualified to to be selected. Like you have a
Yeah.
chance to be selected to fight or to play in the wild card. If not next year, but you have a chance. Like no, like it's dumb. It's
And,
the
and,
dumbest thing.
and the thing I hear about like a lot of arguments for this expanded playoff is that I hear that like, oh, you don't know what like certain teams can get hot at the end of the season, and they point to like the Tennessee Titans of this past NFL season where they went on a run at the end of the season and they shocked the whole world with their play. But the thing is, they had like a top 5 running back in the league whose name brand from all the way to his college days. That's how well known he is. Well, this isn't like the Mets where they just got Pete Alonso. We have no idea how his potential is because he just finished his rookie season. Let's just get him in the playoffs just because they won enough games. Like they're not there's certain teams that are ready. There are certain teams that are just missing that extra step. And then there are other teams that are we're a playoff contender. You're gonna have to catch up to us, and those are like the Rays, the Red Sox, the A's, the Twins, now the White Sox. Now that they have Encarnacion and Dallas Keuchel, they're a team to watch for a team like that that are definitely with that mentality of the playoff contender.
Well, yeah, but and like like it's all about money now. So like they have to take into effect that like so like your contract is obviously you're obliged to 182 games through the
Hmm.
season, all right? And then if you do make it to the postseason, you get more money. This is going to cost them more money because now more people are going to be in the postseason, like for not just one extra game, for like 2 extra games because you have to win 2 out of 3.
Yeah, especially
So
if
like
you're
you're going
yeah. Go on.
so like it's gonna cost like more money because you're gonna have to pay these players more because of of those 2 extra games that they have to play.
Right, and
So
you.
I just don't really understand who this is for.
I mean, there's an argument that like it's for like younger kids to see more teams, but like the young audience isn't when it comes to playoff time, they're not going to know who half the 3 other teams that qualified are going to be.
Again, the fucking All Star Week is the best time to
Yeah.
do this in because that's where everybody's at one like the best players at one place. Like I didn't care much for Tampa Bay Rays until I saw what's his name that I can never remember, the
What is it?
Guerrera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But he's on the Blue Jays, and that's the thing. The Blue Jays aren't even a
Blue
good
Jays. Yeah,
team.
sorry, Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays aren't even a good team. But when it comes to the home run derby, everyone's like, "Who the hell is this Vladimir Guerrero Jr. guy? And why did he hit almost 50 home runs in the second round of the home run derby?"
Right.
Like
Right. Like I don't
that's the
understand.
thing. That's you promote Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and that kind of stuff. Like that will get you fucking views. That will get you fucking seats at the stadium. People are gonna start watching more. People will buy the fucking MLB TV package. You promote those kind of players, and that's where the money comes in because now you can say to the TV companies, "Hey, we got these fucking star players. You're gonna have to give us a shit ton of money if you want these star players to be on your network." And that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You don't say like, "Oh, we're gonna change the playoffs because that's what ESPN expects from us because we need to cater to Disney." Like, no. Like Disney does
The
not have control over you, sir. Neither does
the
Turner.
the postseason is definitely not the right time to make
Right,
changes
and right,
if you're trying to if you're trying to like expose the players to like a younger audience. Like
and that's the thing. I can't think of any other reason as to why you would want to expand the playoffs outside of the exposure because it just doesn't make sense. And Rob Manfred right now, he is fucking up tremendously. He's fucked up the Astros punishment by and now and that whole we'll just slightly talk about it, but that whole Astros apology was a whole horse of bullshit. And now he wants to change the playoffs because TV companies are expecting something different. Like it's baseball. Fox is loving what baseball is doing for them right now. Fox right now I think is the only TV company that's going to say you want $1 billion for fucking baseball on Fox only? Here you fucking go. They gave fucking WWE $2 billion for fucking having SmackDown on Fox. And they have a fucking storyline where a guy has to eat dog food. Like they do not give a fuck.
I just don't think like this is just it's. I mean, I get it. It's all rumor now. It's not like confirmed.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that's been confirmed is now a pitcher has to go through three batters
Minimum three
before they can
batters.
change.
But see,
Yeah.
and what does that do? Like, what happens if there's a lefty coming up and your lefty pitcher and you have to change pitchers? Like, where's the strategy in that? Where is it? So now it's like, oh well, my strategy of having the lefty go against the other lefty, I can't do that because now I have to keep him in with all the other righties or whatever. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and we're just gonna have to suck it up. But this I said in the for our Spotify listeners and YouTube viewers, I said in the Houston Astros scandal episode where I went through the entire breakdown, the timeline of what happened with the Astros. The sport of baseball is bleeding, it's dying, and this is not helping things. You, not punishing the Astros for cheating is going to turn a lot of people off because when the steroid shit came out, a lot of people stopped watching baseball because all the base. It doesn't matter if like you're the baseball purist. Every baseball player was on roids. Well, once that came out, everyone was on roids. The A Rod suing MLB over him being tested for steroids that threw people off. This is just gonna throw people away from baseball. They're gonna be like, oh well, it's baseball season. Well, the NBA is on, and now the XFL is in spring. So it's like now so many other things are being available outside of baseball. People are gonna be like, well, I don't like these rules. Fuck baseball. I'm gonna go watch this, and that's gonna affect their dollar at the end.
Oh, they're just not doing things right, man. It's not like I mean, like obviously we're just two people just talking
Yeah.
about this, but like I don't know the way things are going. I don't know. I don't know, man.
The hashtag Fire Manfred movement is going strong on Twitter right now. But
God,
Joaquin, I want to thank you for joining off the bench on this
no
episode.
problem.
Uh,
Hopefully this one works.
it definitely will. We definitely had a test run before we recorded. But just for our viewers and listeners on Spotify and YouTube, where can we find you, sir?
You can find me at youtube.com/excessivegames. Right now, me and a friend are going through Kingdom Hearts, and then I'm also streaming on the side. My like I'm usually streaming just random games. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/excessivegames. I keep posting there. I'm sometimes funny.
For our YouTube viewers, we're gonna have the links in the description for you to follow my friend Joaquin and his journey through Kingdom Hearts. Uh, thanks for joining us again, and we'll catch you at another time.
Peace out.